Hi, I'm Alex from NME, and today we're joined by the first couple of horror, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. Guys, how does it feel to be stepping into your third film in the Conjuring verse?
I just like to be the first couple in horror. I've never heard that
No,
moniker. I love it.
it's true. That's a good moniker.
It
I,
is.
you're right. The first couple in horror. I guess
You
that's what
can't
makes
get
it so unique.
you can't get more iconic than Ed and Lorraine Warren, that's for sure.
Maybe Scully and Mulder.
So, how does it feel to be stepping into another film?
Fantastic. This was a movie we knew after the second one that if we were going to come back for a third, we had to push it. We had to push these characters, had to push the story, had to even push how we approached horror movies, the filmmakers. So nobody wanted to rest on their laurels, so to speak. So we knew that when we came back, we'd be put to the test. So it's happy. Shot it pre-COVID, then COVID happened, and then we're trying to figure out when to do reshoots and all of that. But here we are, and couldn't be more proud.
I love it. I love it. I love doing it. Conjuring's like caviar to me. Comes every couple of years. I get it. I want more.
Like caviar, did you say?
Totally. Right? It's always in like these little fits and spurts. You don't eat it every day, but when it comes, you want more.
That's great. I like that. When you signed up for the first one, did you ever think you'd get this far?
They have quite a legacy, and Lorraine Warren has quite a legacy for decades and decades. She was the premier clairvoyant that police departments worked with, and she was a UCLA approved psychic. Like there were so many cases that this couple were a part of, and I knew that and I was hoping that there would be more opportunity. And really that's just based on the fun that I had with the first one. I was hoping there would be more. I wanted to have more fun. I did not want this to end, and I still don't.
I thought we would be back for at least one, possibly two. I did not think it would be spanned over whatever it is. Seems like forever, 8 years. And I didn't even think of really the spin-offs. I felt like the structure. It's funny that we made a loose reference to Mulder and Scully. That's probably the closest reference, even in some sort of, even though it's not horror, some sort of sci-fi world of following to, a couple in the cases, because it's not been the formula for any other horror franchise, to my knowledge. So usually they follow the villain. So I knew that James was really onto something. And when we had done Insidious prior to the first Conjuring, and so I already had a good relationship with him, and so he'd said, "Listen, this is the plan," and I already knew his mode of thinking. That actually he always led from, whether it was Saw with Jigsaw, or he always knew to capitalize on some item, right? Whether it's in this case it becomes Annabelle, like some kind of toy, some kind of marketing. It was interesting. So when he had this idea, and it was like, this is a whole different breed. This is I think of this like The Exorcist, this is a classic horror setting, and if we do this right, there are so many cases we can follow. So I knew we'd be back for a couple.
Also, the thing that separates us from the offshoots of the Conjuring film, like people will tune into The Nun or Annabelle, or to keep up with the villain, whereas in our franchise they do root for the superheroes and the superhero and heroine.
It's interesting that you mention all the little items that James Wan uses. I have this great image of one of you in your house having the portrait of the nun on your living room wall. Is that the case? Have any of you been allowed to take any of the props home?
I have my holy water, Alex. I have my holy water.
I have my holy water. I have my holy water right over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant. The nun portrait can wait maybe till after all the films are wrapped. Thanks so much for speaking to me, guys.
No problem, Alex. Take care.